Hi, I'm Alex, and this is Pucks and Paperbacks. Today, I am so excited because I'm going to be talking to you about my most anticipated queer releases for 2023. This is not my whole list, but I compiled, I think, about over 15 books. In my description, you can find the titles and authors, as well as where you can pre-order the books. They are affiliate links, which are no cost to you. They just help earn me a small commission. So if you want to help support me and you liked this video, feel free to pre-order some of the books using my link. Let's get started. The first book is an anthology coming out on January 1st called The Night of the Living Queers, edited by Alex Brown. These release dates are subject to change. I was just going off of what Goodreads says, so I do want to make a correction about this book because it actually comes out fall 2023, not January 1st like Goodreads said. So take these release dates with a grain of salt, but do know that these are coming out in 2023. This is a YA horror anthology with stories from authors like Kosoko Jackson, Sarah Farzan, Kaylin Barron, and the list goes on. The fact that this is a YA queer horror just sounds so cool. This is a YA horror anthology co-edited by Shelly Page and Alex Brown and exclusively featuring queer authors of color putting fresh spins on classic horror tropes and tales. The anthology takes place on the same Halloween during a blue moon, no less, exploring a night where everything is possible. This sounds so cool and different. I really love anthologies because I love seeing how authors can just take a prompt and write a story from it. That's my favorite part of anthologies and writing in general. It's so fun. This sounds really cool, so I wanted to let you know about it. The next book comes out on January 17th, and this is Another Dimension of Us by Mike Albo, and this is a queer sci-fi thriller about two groups of teens from 1986 and 2044 who travel across the astral planet to save the ones they love. Sounds pretty cool. I'm really just here for the cover. Another book coming out on January 17th is one I pre-ordered, and this is Friday I'm in Love by Camryn Garrett. I love her books so much, and this one is a contemporary about a girl throwing herself a coming out party. Similar to a Sweet 16. The cover is stunning. I cannot wait to have this physical book in my hands. I am so excited for it. It just sounds so good. Camryn is one of my favorite authors, and I always pre-order her books because they're awesome, they're magical, and I love her so much. I'm so excited for this. The last book coming out on January 17th is another Julian Winters. I love this cover. I feel like we're getting a really good book cover year for 2023. This is As You Walk By. It's pitched as The Breakfast Club meets Can't Hardly Wait, and it's about a boy named Theo who is 17, and he is dealing with some pressure from his dad as he wants to get a full ride to Duke on an athletic scholarship, but from what I read, it seems like Theo is not on the same page as his dad, and all I can think about is High School Musical when I think about these sort of situations. But there's also a promposal, and it seems like we're going to have some romance because that's what Julian Winters is all about. I'm super excited. This year is just me looking at covers and being like, okay, I want to read that. But also when I heard The Breakfast Club, I was instantly sold. Coming out on January 31st is Sorry Bro by Taleen Volynski. This is about an Armenian-American woman rediscovering her roots and embracing who she really is in this vibrant and heartfelt queer rom-com by a debut author. And like I said, it's the covers. You can really see a pattern that this is the year of me just seeing cool covers and deciding I want to read the book. The next book comes out on February 6th, and this is Olympic Enemies by Rebecca J. Caffery, and this title is self-explanatory. It is about two Olympic athletes who are enemies, and it has to be an enemies to lovers. When I was researching for this video, I saw this book get a lot of buzz, and honestly, just give me enemies to lovers with sports, and I'm instantly sold. On February 14th, we have Planning Perfect by Haley Neal. This is a YA rom-com about being on the asexual spectrum. A girl tries to craft the perfect wedding for her man. We have some friends to lovers. It sounds like a great time. The next book coming out on Valentine's Day is a most anticipated trans release, and I actually have an e-arc, so thank you to Wednesday Books for sending me a copy. And this is Always the Almost by Edward Underhill. This has been hyped on TikTok. I follow the author on TikTok and I am just so excited. This is about a trans boy named Miles, and his New Year's resolution is to win regionals at a big piano competition, and just having a musical trans boy is so exciting to me. 16-year-old trans boy Miles Jacobson has two New Year's resolutions. One, win back his ex-boyfriend and star of the football team, Shane McIntyre. And two, finally beat his slimy arch nemesis at the Midwest's biggest classical piano competition. But that's not going to be so easy. For one thing, Shane broke up with Miles 2 weeks after Miles came out as trans, and now Shane's stubbornly ignoring him, even when they literally bump into each other. But Miles's new, slightly terrifying piano teacher keeps telling him that he's playing like he doesn't know who he is, whatever that means. Then Miles meets the new boy in town, Eric Mendez, a proudly queer cartoonist from Seattle who asks his pronouns, cares about art as much as he does, and makes his stomach flutter. This just sounds so up my alley. Like, this is everything that I love. I love having a messy trans character who just doesn't know who they are. And I am just so excited for this. I just knew as soon as I saw the first TikTok, I'll have his TikTok link down below. Go and support him because this book has a beautiful cover and it just sounds awesome. I'm super excited and you'll know my thoughts once I read it. On March 21st, we have Camp Quilt Bag by Nicole, Melleby, and AJ Sass. This is a middle grade I'm super excited for. I love books set at camp, and this is about two kids who are attending an inclusive queer and trans retreat. There's two characters, Abigail and Kai actually uses neo pronouns. E's pronouns are em airs, and this is just so cool to have this representation in middle grade. I'm super excited. Like I said, this has such a cool cover. I'm gonna say it for like every book because they're so good. I'm so excited for this. From the moment I saw it was announced, I knew it was instantly a book that I need to read. On April 18th, we have Jude Saves the World by Ronnie Riley. The author pitched it as queer AF with a fat non-binary main character who decides to create a safe space at their local library. This sounds so cool. I just love comforting books like this. If I just need a book that is filled of queer and trans joy, I know where to turn. On April 13th, we have Jamie by L.D. Lapinski. And this is about a non-binary kid who finds out their secondary schools will be split up, one for boys and one for girls, but which school is for them. I really enjoyed putting this list together because it shows how far we're coming, because there's so many books that are just about queer and trans kids being the main characters and living their lives and existing, and that is just all I want. And I'm just so excited that this whole list has books that have that, where it's not just a kid who is dealing with a lot of trauma or a kid coming out. We have so many different stories, as the traumatic stories are important, which I express all the time. Those coming out stories and stories about how it is not always happy, I love those, but it is nice to have some happy books once in a while, which I have learned a lot this year. On May 2nd, we have Imogen, Actually by Becky Albertalli. I am so excited for this. This is about a girl named Imogen who at the start of the story thinks she's just an ally to the LGBT community. But when her friend Lily asks her to help bend the truth so she can fit in with her queer college friends, Imogen agrees to have Lily tell them that they used to date, even if that's not true. But as Imogen is more involved in the queer community, she finds out a lot about herself, and I feel like this is going to be such an important book. I know it is based off of some of the things that Becky did go through online when she was outed, and I think these stories are so important, and I'm so excited to read this. Another book coming out on May 2nd is Ellie Engle Saves Herself by Leah Johnson. This is her middle grade about a girl who has superpowers, and when a freak earthquake hits her small town, Ellie goes viral from a video where she's using her powers. And this just sounds so cool. I'm gonna say it again. awesome cover, and I am so excited to see what Leah Johnson does with this. I need to catch up on her backlist. I have not read Rise of the Sun yet, so this is just my reminder to do so, so that I will be ready to read this. There's no significance, but I just want to keep up with her work, and this one sounds really good, and I'm super excited. Coming out on May 9th is You Don't Have a Shot by Racquel Marie. I'm so excited about this. It is about soccer gays. There's some enemies. I'm super excited. Give me a book about sports and I'm all here. I've been following the author as she writes this book on Twitter, and I am just so excited to finally get around to reading it. Another book coming out on May 9th is This Is the Way the World Ends by Jen Wilde. This is their first thriller, and I'm just really excited to see how this one goes. This is a thriller set at an elite private school's epic masquerade ball, and the main character is autistic. This sounds so cool, and I'm really excited just to see how Jen does with thriller, because they usually are a writer of YA contemporary, and I've loved their books in the past, so I'm super excited about this one, especially because I haven't read a new book from them in a while. They're another author that I just haven't read any of their backlist yet. This is just reminding me of all of the books that I need to read. Coming out on May 16th is another anthology. This is a fantasy, trans, and gender nonconforming anthology called Transmogrify, edited by J. Heron Davis. It includes authors like Mason Deaver, Sonora Reyes, A.R. Capetta, Corey McCarthy, and Cam Montgomery. I'm super excited for this, which is rare for me because I don't like fantasy. I don't hate fantasy, but I think it will be easier to read in a short story format. On May 30th, we have Skating on Mars by Carolyn Huntoon. This is about a trans figure skater, and that's all I have to say on that. Another book I have an e-arc of, thanks to Penguin Teen, is They Both Hate Each Other by Amanda Woody. This is a queer fake dating, and that is one of my favorite tropes. On June 6th, we have another Adiba Jagadar, and this is the Do's and Donuts of Love. This is about a girl who goes on a televised baking competition, and one of the contestants is her ex-girlfriend. Oh my god, this might be one of my most anticipated releases because it has everything I love. I love to read books about baking. I actually did a reading vlog, so I'll have it linked up above, where I read 3 queer books about baking, and I baked some of the recipes in it, and so maybe we need to do a part 2 with this book because I am so excited about it. On June 6th, we have another book from Melissa C, and this is Love Letters for Joy. This is a YA contemporary retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac following Joy, a pan-romantic asexual girl with cerebral palsy who is determined to be valedictorian and seeks out love advice from an anonymous student at her academy, but she's unknowingly writing to and falling for the last person she ever expected. This is awesome. Super excited. And the last book is coming out on June 20th. I have an e-arc thanks to Macmillan, and this is Ode to My First Car by Robin Gow, and this just sounds amazing. I was introduced to this author this year. This is the author of A Million Quiet Revolutions, and I've heard nothing but great things from him. And this book just is awesome. It sounds so good, so let me tell you what it's about. Ode to My First Car is a YA contemporary sapphic romance told in verse, and is about a bisexual teen girl who falls in out of love over the course of one fateful summer. Trying to pay off the fine from the crash that totals Lars, her beloved car, Claire takes a job at the local nursing home up the street from her house. There she meets Lena, an 88-year-old lesbian woman who tells her stories about what it was like growing up gay in the 1950s and 60s. Another awesome cover that matches a really cool concept for a book. Let me know if there's any books that I missed in this video. This was not my full list, but I honestly didn't know too many books coming out until I really researched it. So if there's one you want me to know about, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up so more people can see it. If you're new here and you want to hear more of my thoughts on queer and trans books, feel free to hit subscribe because that's what I do over here. I talk about contemporary queer and trans books in reading vlogs and in book rec videos and also in my wrap-ups. So if you like what you see, feel free to hit subscribe, and if you would like to support me further, I have a Patreon where I host an LGBTQ+ book club. So that is coming back in the new year if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye.